Hair is an important aspect to one's identity. When one is entrusted with taking care of a person's hair, it is an honor and the task needs to be treated with respect so as to honor and give dignity to the person. We will take a look at the importance of hair from the First Nations perspective, through stories from Elder Mike Pinay, who is from the Peepeeksis First Nation, which is part of Treaty 4.
Well, I grew up with braids, or I should say I had braids until I was 6 years old. And my grandmother used to braid my hair. Like when I was young, we didn't have our house for a while there, and we used to stay with my grandparents. They had a huge house. And my grandmother always combed my hair, and she used to sing while she combed it. And then when I went to residential school, I got all my hair cut off. But after I left school, I started growing it again. But I always remember as a young boy when I first went to residential school, when they cut our hair off, because a lot of the kids at that time didn't know English. They didn't know what was going on. And the only time we used to cut our hair is when someone passes away, someone leaves us, one of our loved ones. So a lot of our young people that time were devastated because they thought, their parents were killed or their, and if you get a few cousins, we thought the whole family was killed. Well, we didn't find out for quite a while later because there was no communication back then. There was no telephone. There was no, there was no communication. So we didn't really know until probably a month later or so. But then, like, some of our people understood English and they kept trying to tell us that there was nothing wrong with our parents or relatives. But we didn't believe them. So we had to have proof, and I think it was about a month and a half, 2 months later, my grandfather come down there to the school. And that's when he told us that everything was all right at home. So it took us a whole month and a half to find that out. So that was through that whole month and a half, and a lot of people, like some of the kids that come down from up north, they didn't know because they didn't understand English, right? So, and there was nobody to assure them or to tell them that everything was all right, so they were totally devastated for a long time. I never cut my own hair, ever. Even when I lost my loved ones, I never cut it. Someone else cut it. I cannot cut my own hair. It's like you're taking your own strength away. So when somebody else does it, then they're helping you. Like when my mother passed away, I had my brother-in-law cut my hair. And he just chopped it off. And so that's the last time I cut my hair now was when my mother passed away. And my hair, of course, doesn't grow as fast and it's not as thick as it used to be, but the length of my hair now is when my mother passed away. So that's a part of it, but there's also teachings that go with it. So it's a spiritual thing when that happens. And so in another culture, the Sotos, what they do when somebody passes away is they get somebody to comb their hair. That's what they do. They get somebody to comb their hair out. They don't cut it, but they comb it out. Yeah. So they usually get an elder to comb their hair. Yeah, well, all of us were made to cut our hair that went to residential school. Through the residential school era, some of the people adopted the short haircut because they were scared of the Indian agents, they were scared of the priests, the nuns, so they adopted that style of hair. But there's some of us that practice the traditional ways, and a lot of them didn't practice it because they were scared their children or grandchildren would get punished. But those of us that kept the ways, that still have them today, still have that feeling of, that hair is important, that hair is special. So today now you'll see more of our young people, like my children, my grandchildren, they all grow their hair, especially the boys, and of course the girls do too, but all the boys, they pretty well all grow their hair now. that we're able to do that again. There's three parts to us. There's us as an individual, and also in your life there are two very, very powerful spirits, and one is the evil and one is the good. And what my grandmother told me is the hair, when you braid it like that, the three together, that evil one sits here and always ready to tempt you to do things wrong or whatever. That we talk about the temptations of evil. That's always there. That one works 24/7 on young people. While this one here, the good one, sits here and waits for you to embrace that one. And my grandmother used to tell me, when you embrace that one, hang on, don't ever let go. But this one is still going to keep on working even though you're hanging on. So that's what we try and do, is we try and hang on to that good one and stay away from that evil one, not listen to that one. So that's pertaining to life. And also what it represents is you, those three. And we asked, and my grandmother said, you try and take that center one, that straight road. Same without this one here, you'll fall off and fall on this road. Always try and stay on this one. Stay with the good. Embrace that good. Keep following that road. But also what it also represents is strength. Now if you take an individual hair, you could pull it comes off easy, breaks off easy. But if you have a braid that's strong, you can move your head with it. That's how strong it is. So it also represents strength. And that strength is to get you through the day, not to be macho or anything like that, but to get you through the day. So that's what that also represents, strength. So to be strong in your life. Yeah, we braid sweetgrass, and the same thing. When you braid sweetgrass, it's the same thing. There's you, there's that evil, and there's the good. So you put these two together, it outnumbers this one. So that's why sweetgrass is always good to use, because the good always and you always outnumber the evil one. So we use that to purify ourselves. And that represents the hair of Mother Earth, to give us strength and to help us walk that good road. Well, when a person braids his hair, a lot of time they'll put something in it. Sometimes they'll put something in it to make it shiny. And what that represents is a proud person. But also a lot of women, you see with braids, they'll put, a little beadwork in it, whatever. But that also represents, on a woman, it represents the beauty of a woman. Because women are beautiful. Us guys, we don't look so good, but I see more youth braiding their hair, like especially the young boys. They're really looking after themselves, and they're growing their hair, and they're looking after their hair, they're braiding it, they're making their hair look nice. A number of years ago, hair was short and women didn't really care how they had it. They just whatever. Because in residential school, the woman, they just had a straight haircut, straight across the front, down a little bit, and right around the back. But today now they're identifying themselves with, as being a woman with beauty with hair. And whereas a man, they're identifying themselves as being a proud person, a proud First Nation person, with their hair braided, and a lot of them even add pieces into their hair, leather or ribbon or whatever. As to me, what I was told, when that hair starts turning color, then they recognize you. It's I guess having wisdom. And to me that's important. I try and have as much wisdom as possible. There's even an artist I didn't know. I was at a conference and I was there for 4 days. And on the fourth day, an artist come and gave me, he made a, what do you call it, pencil sketch of me, cowboy hat, ponytail. And he said, here's you. And when he told me that, after I was going home, I was thinking, here's you. And that is me, cowboy hat and ponytail. And so that identifies me of who I am. Everybody knows Mike as having a cowboy hat and ponytail. Even in front of City Hall, there's a statue of me in Regina, cowboy hat and ponytail. So it identifies Mike as being Mike. So the hair also identifies a person, how they wear it, how you braid it, just like my grandson. Most people braid with 2 hair. My daughter braids his with 3, has one little small one on top. And everybody knows as soon as they see that hair, there's Kiwana, even way over there. There's Kiwana, because they can see that 3rd braid. So it also identifies a person on how you wear your hair.